Daddy, remember you went to daddy school today? And I'm like, trying to use it as an opportunity to see things a different way. And he's like, you got to talk to your brain, daddy. And you got to tell your brain to be nicer. And I'm like laughing internally because he's right. He's right. He's right. And it's exactly what I'm teaching him. He's teaching me what I'm teaching him. And I want you to know that this has been a place of growth and development for me like I cannot believe. And so Danny has been struggling putting his hands on any and everything. It's not just stuff. He's at school and he's maybe being a little aggressive with kids, or, they be playing cops and robbers and he's pushing the kid a little rougher than I would like, or he's putting his hands on somebody, or he's doing something with his hands. And as me and his teacher are talking about how it is that we could help him progress, we start talking about disassociating himself from his hands. Let's talk to his hands. Danny, I know you're a good kid. I know you thinking you want to do positive things in the world. I know you are full of love. But your hands, bro, they have to do something different. We gotta figure out how to keep them to ourselves. And so me and Miss Elizabeth, we've been talking about talking to his hands, having him talk to his hands. So we'll see him go up to his hands, cup them up, and be like, hey, let's stop talking to other people, whispering in his hands. And at first I thought that was a little goofy, but then I remember what Brittany was teaching us in our 200-hour training. She's about to come out with a book about it, actually. And that is when we give our ego a name, we're able to disassociate from it just enough to recognize it's not me. My boy Jason, he went out and bought a grumpy bear, that blue bear, it's grumpy from the TV show. It reminded him of his childhood, but he's able to disassociate his mind in such a way that when he goes in to talk to his significant other, he can say, grumpy bear doesn't like the way you do this. Grumpy bear doesn't like the way you open the fridge. He doesn't use the word grumpy bear. He says, my mind doesn't like when this happens. Let's talk about it. And that's the same thing with Danny's hands. It's like when we start to question and start to investigate, how can we do something a different way? Will it work? I don't know. But I know I don't want to spank my kid because he's touching other things. I know what that does. Okay, I'm a good kid. I turned out well. But at the same time, I struggle to want to have physical contact with people. And that comes from getting beat by my dad. That was the 90s, though. So there's no shade being thrown there. That's just what happened back in the 90s, right? And I don't want to teach my kid that way. So what was cool and what was funny was the other day, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to them about some stuff. And Danny's like, Daddy, remember you went to daddy school today? And I'm like, trying to use it as an opportunity to see things a different way. And he's like, you got to talk to your brain, Daddy. And you got to tell your brain to be nicer. And I'm like laughing internally because he's right. He's right. He's right. And it's exactly what I'm teaching him. He's teaching me what I'm teaching him. And when we get into this symbiotic relationship with nature, where we stop thinking that we have to control when the sun comes up and when it goes down, and we begin to recognize that we are a part of that system, that we can do things in a different way, and it's either going to work or it ain't going to work. So no reason to beat ourselves up about it. But if we can be more of a loving presence to the people in our lives, if we can climb our personal summits in such a way that gives us an opportunity each and every day to make a little progress in the direction of our actual dreams, we winning. You're winning. So this week, As you climb towards your personal summit, slow down just a bit so that you can hear the wisdom that is calling. And it doesn't speak loudly. In fact, it's not going to yell at you. It's not going to scream at you. It's going to be the most quiet. It's going to be a little whisper. And that little bitty whisper is going to be the thing that helps you move forward. So this week, try to listen for that whisper. Try and listen for the silence inside of the mind. It's a little different. It's a little bit of an exercise. I know it's a little woo-woo, but if you slow down, take a few breaths, allow what's going on around you to inform you, not overtake you, you're going to be able to hear what it is you actually want to do. And it won't be conditioning based on what you thought you should do yesterday. And that changes lives. I've seen it not only in myself, but also in my clients. And I hope for the best for you. Catch you guys next time.